actually winded up liking this movie more than I was expecting. What's up, everybody? Back today to make a real quick video about the Wachowskis' newest film, Jupiter Ascending. I seen it had been getting some bad ratings. I didn't read any reviews or anything, but when I saw the trailer, I wasn't too excited. I was just focusing on Channing Tatum's ears and the fact that I really don't care for Mila Kunis. I was kind of like having a hard time getting past that. When I saw the second trailer, I was like, this movie's gonna be freaking out of hand, so I was a little slightly more excited to go see it. So I'm sitting there the first 10 minutes, I'm kind of like, oh, I can see what everybody hates, you know, and then the sci-fi stuff started happening, and it started converting me over slowly. The film has a lot of problems. It's not great by any means, but it's not that horrible. Let me get into the good and the bad. First of all, the story, I kind of liked it, actually. The universe they set up, why they were after Mila Kunis, the whole genetic angle they used, I like that part. The bad guys, I like how they were set up, the whole universe that they were running and how Earth played into that universe. I liked all that stuff. The second part of the story I liked was how they mixed kind of different aliens that we're used to into the story. I don't want to ruin it because I didn't see it on the trailer, so I don't ruin it for you, but you see the lizard guy on the trailer, so, you know, that's obviously, you know, a conspiracy theory with the lizards running and everything, and then where did life really originate? So the story plays into that, and then it has all the cliche angle parts too, with the love story of Channing Tatum and Mila Kunis and all that crap, and the whole Beauty and the Beast angle. And there's a part where actually I think it's one of the characters, the bad guy, actually says the Beauty and the Beast thing. It's like, well, it was fucking obvious. You didn't need to, like, actually write it in the script. That was kind of lame. So it has a ton of cliches, but at the core, it's a decent sci-fi story. So that saved it a lot. I forgave it for a lot of problems. The effects are probably the second best thing. There's a lot of crazy freaking effects. Some of it hits and some of it misses. It's two-sided. This whole movie is hit and miss. The effects are beautiful in some aspects. There's one part, it's freaking crazy. The ship's hangar has chandeliers in it. I was like, that's freaking cool. This has more of that crazy, you know, cosmic vibe, Fifth Element vibe. I liked it better than Fifth Element, at least in my memory. But yeah, it has a lot of stuff that's kind of cool. There's an elephant guy. I mean, there's just all kinds of weird stuff. There's all this genetic crap going on, and then there's robots, and not a lot of robots, but they're like synthetic, like android people, and it's kind of cool though, all the stuff they mixed in. I like that. His boots at the beginning, I was like, duh, and then I was like, you know, it kind of adds a different POV for the little laser chase scenes, and that's where the effects get kind of bad, is everything is just ships fighting ships, lasers, battles, ships flying, attacking each other. It's all a bunch of shit effects-wise we've seen before. Some of it got so muddy at some parts I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. It's actually psychedelic because it was just like flashing almost. I don't know if that was intended or not, but I was like, yeah, it's kind of just muddy bleeps of light and all this shit, you know, because the laser beams are going off. So that was kind of there's a couple of comedy elements to it which are kind of lame. Mila Kunis' family on Earth I thought was kind of stupid. At times though, there was some comic relief, you know, her being introduced to this whole new outside universe. So there was a couple of moments where I did chuckle. But you know, the film is all over the place and just a ton of cliches, and the stuff that looks good, but I mean, it pulls from every sci-fi movie you've ever seen, all that stuff. It's not completely original. The only part I liked, like I said, was the business aspect of the genetic thing and the evil family. That part was freaking cool. The ending was pretty cheesy as well, just kind of like, oh, super sugary sweet. And then the bad guys took too many freaking breaks. I was like, the way they presented the bad guys is that they were, you know, had godlike powers almost over Earth, and then the fact that they only had like 5 ships to attack Channing Tatum when he was protecting Mila Kunis, I was like, I mean, we respond with more cops to a guy robbing a freaking liquor store than 5. I'm like, they could have, you know, it seemed like, oh, we're going to take a few hours off while the story progresses and then we'll re-attack. And they kind of explain it with some of the laws that in the universe, and the bad guys, even though they have laws they have to sort of follow, so that part kind of was cool also, which, you know, they kind of show a little bit of the whole entire society, but you mostly just meet the bad people, so it's kind of hard to judge how the rest of society was. So, I mean, we're never going to see probably a second film because it looks like the film's going to bust. So it's kind of cool to see a one-off film into this galaxy. So I'm going to give the film a 3 out of 5 because, like I said, I think it's worth one watch. I wouldn't run out to this theater and see it. If you want to check it out, maybe at matinee prices, a rental, something like that. It's worth one watch, definitely. I mean, because there was a lot of work put into it. Channing Tatum's not as bad as I thought he was. The pointed ears are actually the worst part of his character. The backstory's kind of hokey. They could have probably done a lot cooler stuff with it, especially since it was based on the whole genetic thing. But yeah, cliched, good special effects, good little core universe setup, but we'll never see it again. So I don't know what to say. You comment down below. They tried. It might not have worked, but I appreciate the effort. So 3 out of 5 for me.